love, what's up? Welcome to Confidently Uncomfortable. I'm your host, Jago, health and lifestyle coach, and not-so-regal confidence queen. Coming at you with the real, the raw, and of course, the uncomfortable. My mission is to show you that to be confident, it has absolutely nothing to do with being perfect or having it all together, and everything to do with you getting uncomfortable and pushing your limits. Thanks for joining me. Let's dive in. All right, y'all. I have something super duper crazy exciting to share with you. I have been so excited to tell you about this that I feel like I'm about to poop my pants. I am hosting a Go Confident webinar. I'm going to be live, being able to get in there and talk with you all about how to cultivate confidence through the right routines and rituals that you can actually stick with. I'm so excited. I want you to join. It's going to be on Wednesday, February 12th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You have to register to get in there. And if you register now, you're going to get access to my free Cultivating Confident journal prompts. So go ahead and click the link in my show notes and I'll see you there. Y'all, I don't know about you, but January always seems like the longest month ever. I seriously felt like it was January 74th and I was stuck in this loop. It was like Groundhog's Day and it's just the same in and out, and it just got really I'm ready, let's move on. And then what happens is February, March, April, May, boom, it's boom, it's quick. So that's just how I feel right now. I'm very excited to be going into the new month, and something about I'm a weirdo. I love new months and I love Mondays. And the thing is they're totally we've created those things to feel like a fresh start. And so I use that to my advantage, and I love quote unquote starting fresh every single Monday. I love starting fresh every single month and just taking time to reflect on the previous month, how I feel with everything, how things have gone, and then setting my goals up for the new month. I have my clients do that all the time, and it can be super valuable. But enough about January. Let's talk about February, the month of love. So I don't know if you're into it or not, but Valentine's Day is this month. And sometimes it has people feeling some sort of way, whether it's just having them question their own insecurities, whether they're going into relationships, wondering I don't know, it just puts all this crazy pressure on things. So I want to tell you, hey, I love you and you're awesome. And you don't need this holiday to fully define what your relationship is, what your friendships are, anything like that. So if that pressure is hitting you, take it away. Now, if you love doing the whole Valentine's Day thing, do it up, babe. But I definitely want you to reserve some space for you in there and really show yourself some love. Speaking of love, I know that connection is so important when it comes to relationships. And a lot of times I feel like it can be a struggle to create those deeper relationships with people that go beyond the surface level. That can be relationships, friendships, all of the above. So what I'm doing is I'm going to be talking about cultivating deeper friendships and relationships. And I wanted to break this up into two parts for a podcast because it's such a big concept with just connection and how to create that. And really, what I mean by cultivate is think of it like a farmer. You need to tend to it, you need to take care of it. Those relationships are sacred, and I want to break it up because I think that friendships deserve their own talk, and I think that relationships deserve their own talk. I'm of course going to always bring it back to you with both of those things, because the truth of the matter is it all starts with you. It all starts with how you love and connect with yourself. So we will jump into all of that. I'm going to kind of go off the cuff with this because it's something that I've spoken with so many of my clients about. I've talked to lots of women, because the truth of the matter is making friends is hard sometimes. I've been in groups of women, and I can literally quote one of the women has reached out and said, "This may sound weird, but how do I make friends as an adult?" Serious question. I heard it, and it was not the first time I've ever heard that question asked before. And so my initial answer is always get a dog. Not in a rude way, but I truly man's best friend. I love my pup Fiona, and she's seriously an angel sent by God for me. So if you ever are struggling with just feeling alone, there are ways to connect with yourself and also your pets. But I do want to kind of dive into just friendships and relationships and cultivating that on a deeper level as an adult, because making friends can be hard, especially if you are a driven young adult and let's say you move somewhere new with a new job or you're very busy with your work so you don't have a ton of extra free time and well you're cool with drinking but maybe you don't want to do it all the time and maybe you want to not just like have a drinking buddy but actually have someone that you can like talk about real shit with, like those ride or die people that you can call in the middle of the night when something's going on, those people that you can have the craziest ideas or thoughts or fears and just be able to share them openly with. And those kind of friendships are precious. They are so sacred. And sometimes we can feel stuck with just thinking that mindset of like we were in high school where it's like, oh, well, I need quantity over quality, right? Like it's just you're looking for as many people as possible. And that's a good sign. That means you're a good person. It means you're like I don't know, you're winning at life, whatever. But the truth is like, as I've gotten older, I have recognized how important it is to have deeper friendships and ones that go beyond convenience, right? A lot of times we are friends with people, even initially, and it's okay because it's convenient, right? You live near them, you work near them, your desk is near them, you were neighbors with them when you were a kid, whatever. But those relationships that last are the ones that go beyond just convenience, and you can actually get deeper with them. So we're going to start with just making friends in general, and then we're going to talk about how to take those friendships to that deeper level of connection than just like acquaintances, I'll say. So I care about my people, and those of you that know me that know that if you follow me and we haven't connected yet, I truly, truly, truly want to get to know you. So whatever kind of social media, anything, whatever, like I don't want to just have me talking at you. I want to create connection and have real conversations, and I'll be all up in your DMs. So if you ever want to reach out to someone, please shoot me a message because I will jump on that real quick and just talk through stuff because that's what I'm all about. That's why I'm on this platform. It is not to have a giant ego and just take pictures of myself all the time and post them. It's to, be able to relate to people beyond just surface level BS and like real struggles that we all go through, real things that we all laugh about, like just breaking that barrier beyond just the day-to-day, like let's talk about the weather. I don't do small talk. Like it just doesn't work for me. I want to, as soon as you get to know me, you sit down with me, I'm going to learn about your hopes, your dreams, your passions, everything. Like, don't you worry. Get in a room with me and watch what happens. But it's truly because I care and I recognize that we're all human and we're all connected as one. And it's so beautiful to extend that rope and that tie to each other in such a way. So, hey, I'm from Cary, North Carolina originally. I currently live in Hickory, North Carolina. And weird fact about me, I always leave my kitchen cabinets open unconsciously. Like every single day, I leave my cabinets open. Ask any of my previous roommates, my bestie Kira, like my husband, my mom. I have done it my entire life. And I'm friends with a lot of type A people because I'm so like on the other end of the spectrum and they love me anyways. So I would love for you to go ahead and introduce yourself to me, whether that's through this platform or any of the other ones, and let me know about you. Let's create some connection. If you're not in my Facebook group already, that's where my group of women hang out. It's it's not Body Confident Blueprint. The link is in the show notes, but I would love, love, love to connect with you more. But that's a side note. Just want to let you know that you have a friend in me. So if you are someone who's like, all right, I kind of want some deeper relationships, start with figuring out what it is that defines you. So before you go into thinking like, oh, I need more friends, I need this, I need that, I need the other, sometimes we're trying to fulfill a need that we need to first fulfill in our own self, like on the inside. So what I mean by that is if you're struggling with that and thinking that you need that validation or whatever, start with figuring out like, okay, well, am I struggling with loving myself? Am I struggling with like sitting in a room by myself? Like that was me for a very long time. I hated being alone. The thought of it like made me cringe, and I was just constantly saying yes to people so that I could just get out of my own head, get out of my house. And there's nothing wrong with being social, but I am so happy now that I am confident and I am comfortable sitting with myself and having a day to just me. And I think that can be really powerful, so that you can figure out, well, what do I value? Like, what do I want in a friendship? Like, what do I think that makes a good friend? Like, how do I want to show love as a friend, and how do I want to receive love? Because it's not just this give, 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 or this take, take, take. It's a nice give, take relationship. Now, not necessarily tit for tat. It's not something where you're holding a tally mark when you're friends with someone, but you're able to connect with people that have the same values as you and challenge you to be a better person every single day. Your friends do not all need to look like you. I highly recommend you going outside your comfort zone with that. I think you'd be surprised how we are so connected, even though we might not think we are on face value, because I've had the opportunity to connect with so many women from so many different backgrounds just through my ability as a coach. And because I worked in a gym, I worked in just all different areas. And it has shown me that we, especially as women, all have the same struggles. We all have the same desires to feel loved and connected and seen. And once you recognize that, it makes making friends a lot easier, because you get out of your own head of thinking like, well, what if they don't like me? Blah, 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 blah. And just think like, we already have so much in common. Like, let's create that connection and put yourself out there. So I think that that's huge, and I think that's going to help you. So I want to challenge you to get out of your comfort zone. So meeting people can be hard, but it's really a lot harder if you don't try. So if you are, again, this is just like to start from the beginning of making friends, put yourself out there. When I studied abroad in Australia, I didn't know a lot of people, and I actually joined Meetup, which is like, they just post all these different like events going on. You can talk about your different interests and then go to different groups. So you could do like a hiking group, you can do a workout group, you can do a wine club, like kickball. There's literally everything. And they have it everywhere. So just sign up for Meetup and then join different groups. And that's a great way to get to know people who have a similar connection to you, have some similar interests, but it's not just centered around drinking, or not just centered around being your coworkers. So that's a really, really good way to do that. That would be my first recommendation with friends in general. Now, let's say you have friends, and that's great. I'm super happy for you. But let's say that you're craving just a deeper connection with the relationships that you have. Like, you have been, maybe, let's just example, you've been friends for a really long time, and your friends, you've been friends for so long that you know you'll be friends for a long time, but sometimes you feel like you can't connect to them because your lives are so different now. Because let's say you all moved at a different pace, and they're all, I don't know, married with kids, and then you're just kind of like, not, because you're not at that space, you're more career oriented, or you're just, I don't know, we're just on different timelines, which is the truth of the matter, but you want to connect in a different way. Like, I want to first tell you that it's okay to have friendships serve you and you serve them in a different way in different chapters of your life. So even if you were like never left each other's sides, best friends, like always hanging out when you were really young and kids, and then now you're at a point where maybe you're not able to see each other as much, or you're not connecting in the same way, that relationship can still serve you in a different way of like old friends, memories, connections. They know you when like throughout your entire life. But that doesn't mean that you're not able to find other friends as well that maybe connect with your current life, what you're currently passionate about, the things that you're currently seeking. And as you're having that self-development and diving deeper into everything that makes you tick, you might want to connect with people on a deeper level too. So do not blame the friendship. Do not try and change it. You can be open with the conversation, be like, hey, like, let's try this something new, or let's talk to each other. But do not be angry or bitter or frustrated towards that friendship if it's just not serving you in the same way, because we're different people. We're going to change. And that relationship and the extent of that relationship might change too. And it can still be beautiful. Instead of seeing it as a negative, see it as a blessing. And I like to just thank God and say thank you for that chapter in my life. I'm so thankful for this person. And whether they do or don't stay in your life, I think that it's a powerful way to move. But if you are looking to start a new friend group because maybe you moved and you're just trying to have more friends close by, or you are actually in a space where you're looking for a different kind of friendship, or your values have changed, or your passions have changed, or what you do, or whatever that is, like that's okay to want to start new friend groups, and you don't have to feel guilty about that. But how do we do it? Okay, so if you are looking to create some deeper friendships and relationships, you can still connect with people based on your values, but I would definitely, like, as you're getting to know the person, ask the questions that maybe you wouldn't ask on a first date, right? Like, actually dig deeper and find out, like, what is it that you are passionate about? Like, what drives you? What motivates you? What annoys you? What are you working towards in your life right now? And if you feel connected to what they're passionate about and the things they're working towards, like, that can be a really good mutually, like, beneficial friendship that really just builds you up and gives you energy because you're both working on bettering yourselves together. And sometimes, like, other friends aren't at that point yet, and that's okay. You don't have to be rude or be mean to them, but if you want to find other friendships that maybe are on a different level, that are seeking, like, a little bit of that deeper connection, then absolutely do that for yourself. Figure out what it is that you're looking for in a friendship first, and then go from there. I find that transitioning with people that, like, I guess, for example, like, I have a lot of friends, my close friends growing up, they don't do what I do, right? They're not an online coach, and I'm still connected with them for so many different reasons because they've been through so much with me. But I'm so thankful that I was able to create close friends that are also building their online business, that are also focusing on like sharing their story through social media. And it's like, my job in itself can be really weird to a lot of people. Like, when I go to family dinners, they have no idea what I do. My husband's family, I love them so much, but I don't think they really know what I do either. And sometimes that can be hard. So being able to connect with people that get you and that are working towards a similar goal can be very just gratifying. It feels really, really good when you are leaving that time that you spent with that person, or you get off the phone with that person, or whatever that is. And I have so many just women who are entrepreneurs that have really supported me over these past few years. I would not, literally would not be where I am today without them. Okay, so how do you do this in your own life? I wanted to kind of share with you where I'm at. So how can you cultivate those deeper friendships in your own life? It starts with you, like I said earlier, figuring out, like, what it is, what are your values currently, what are your goals, what are you working towards, what do you enjoy, your passions, like, all of those things are very helpful when you are searching for what you're looking for in a relationship, because you need to have that clear relationship with yourself too. So start there, start with you, and then kind of going from there. So you want to take stock in your friends and your current relationships, and if you feel like there's something missing, like, that you're really looking for in a new connection, seek out with the people that you're friends with and see if maybe there's also looking to dig a little deeper. If you've been coworkers with someone for a while, maybe ask to, like, hang out beyond just, like, getting a drink together after work, or just hanging out in between your break, if you feel like that's a relationship you want to cultivate. Other friendships too. So like, if you have mutual friends and you feel like they're also connected to you, like, I would put yourself in a slightly uncomfortable position to maybe break away from your norm. So if you're stuck in the routine with your current friend group where you're doing the same thing and you're kind of in, like, autopilot almost of, like, okay, we're going to go out on Saturday night and then do brunch on Sunday and blah, blah, blah. Like, don't get me wrong, I love brunch, but if you want to maybe try a new activity or do something different and see what people, like, vibe with that and connect with that, that can be really good. Even just doing some mindset activities with different friends, like whether it's like, hey, does anyone want to do a vision board party, or like that's literally what some of my friends just did the other week, and it's so cool because they do it every year together, and it's really fun to be able to share those dreams and things with other people. And it might sound weird to say it to someone at first, but then it ends up being the coolest thing. And then you end up finding a new and deeper way to connect with one of your friends. So don't assume that everyone is just like not wanting to get deeper, because honestly, I've worked with so many women and we are craving that connection and we're craving the real, because we are dealt with so much surface level, being in a world full of social media, being in a world where we have to make good impressions at work. And I don't want you to have to feel like that when you're with your closer friends. So you might have to put yourself in a little bit of an uncomfortable position by being vulnerable and maybe sharing a part of you that you've been afraid of sharing. But by doing that, you're opening up the gateways for other people to do the same. So in Body Confident Blueprint, I work with like the smaller groups of women, right? And with that, like we do these weekly calls, and in the beginning we're starting with talking about macros, and we're talking about like our habits and things that we want to change. And what I really love is when it's crazy. It's like this shift in the group happens, and it happens usually around I think week 4 or 5 usually. It depends. Every group's different. But the shift is like one person gets real and gets vulnerable on a call, whether it's like sharing something really personal, or maybe we start to cry, or we like share something that maybe we haven't shared with other people before. And that is like, holy shit, I'm so scared. I can't believe I just scared. Like, I know that feeling right before someone shares that, because I've been there before, getting vulnerable. But then the second that person is vulnerable, whether it's crying or being real or sharing a moment, something that happened in their life, or how they're really feeling, that shifts the entire group. Every other person will open up about what's going on in their life. They connect with that struggle. They connect with that pain. They connect with the laughter. They connect with the everything. And it's crazy how that one moment of being vulnerable and putting yourself out there creates a snowball effect of other people feeling comfortable enough to do the same. I mean, listen, that's why I do this shit. Like, do you think I want to get on a podcast and talk about sex and about my body all the time? Like, not really. I just found out my mother-in-law listens to this. So, like, that can be scary, right? That can be really vulnerable. But I know that my vulnerability, my willingness to open up and do that and share that, is going to create a deeper connection with each and every one of you. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm on this earth, to create real connection. So I want to challenge you to do that and get vulnerable with some of your current relationships, your friendships, and then whatever you're seeking, if you're seeking some new friends if you started a new hobby and you want to connect with people with that new hobby, do it. Freaking do it. Put yourself out there. It's going to be awkward. It's okay. Everyone feels so awkward. So just know you're not the only one. And know most people are so busy worrying about themselves, they're not worried about you. So that always would help me when I talk to my clients about that. So yeah, that's the start with friends. Now, the other thing, as I talked about, is really breaking out of that surface level mindset around friendships. So weird challenge. You ever consider being friends with someone without stalking them on social media? I know that you secretly do that when you are looking at a potential partner or looking at just a friend's mutual friend. Like, you kind of just start to look at stuff, and then you immediately put judgment on whether it's good or bad, whether you think they're cool or whether you think they're fun or whether you think, and the thing is that's what they're trying to show you. But I think that if you avoid doing that initial, like, scroll of looking through people's stuff, you can just instead make the real first impression based on when you meet them. So try and do that. That's my recommendation. And then, speaking of social media, some things that can really help you when you are craving like a deeper connection is to kind of break up with some of the surface level connections that you're in now. And so that doesn't mean you need to just chuck social media because I'm there and I don't want you to leave me. But I do want you to not feel like you have to constantly compare your self-worth based on what you see on social media. Like, self-love is sometimes the hardest love to give, especially when it's in a perfectly filtered cyber world, and then trying to like create connection with other people, like that can be just as hard. So if you want to continue to challenge yourself, then you can even try and do a little bit of like a social media audit. Kind of like I said, doing a friend audit. So like looking at your friends and current relationships and seeing like, are there ones that you want to get deeper connected with? It could be family members too, but are there ones you want to get deeply connected with? Are there new types of friendships you're looking for? Like that. But then you can also do it with social media, just because like, yes, those might not feel like, oh, well, those aren't like my friends, but those are people that you're taking in. They express certain values and opinions and thoughts, and everything that you're hearing, seeing, and taking in, like you are actually like taking that in, right? It's like going into your brain. So if you're constantly looking at someone who is like not expressing the same values that you're trying to have in your life, or saying things about someone that you don't want to hear, or just making you, let's say they're not even intentionally trying to do anything harmful, but it's still making you feel inferior and not great about your life, then it's okay to unfollow them or unfriend them. And you can also just mute them if it is a friend or a family member that you just feel like at this point in your current life you're not connected with them in the same way, and you don't want to feel judgment as you're embarking on this new journey. If you're going to be posting your fitness pictures or your food or like some new endeavor or business that you're starting, if you're feeling like that's holding you back from fully diving into connecting with yourself deeper and connecting with friendships and sharing more of you, then you have a right to unfollow and unfriend and mute those people so that you can continue to break deeper into what is your best self. Okay. Also, like, make sure that you are, look at your time on social media on screen versus like being present with people. So I really want to challenge you to like limit your time when you're on social media in the first place, but then also when you are with friends and connected with them, like if you want real relationships, put your phone away. Okay? Because the initial impact is like, oh my God, I want to show everyone we're out. I want to show everyone what we're doing. Listen, I take pictures of my food all the time. So there's no judgment here, but I do think it's very, very powerful to be present with the relationships you're in, friendships, everything. So put your phone away. So if you want to take a group picture, that's awesome. But then why don't you post it later? Like no one knows the time of you posting it, whether it's live or not. So who cares? Be present with those people. Take the pic and put the phone away. Put your phone on airplane mode, or just put it on do not disturb, or if that's not good, just make sure you're putting it off, or even taking social media off your phone if you're really stuck to it on the weekends and you're trying to be more present with your relationship. So yeah, I think that by creating that separation of like the social media and actually socializing, it can be super beneficial for cultivating like deeper connections with your friends. Again, nothing's wrong with the social media. You can make it fun, you can do things together, and I've made literally the friends I'm talking about, a lot of them I've made through social media, so nothing wrong with it. But I just want to challenge you, when you are seeking to connect with people more, like be present. If they're talking to you, like make eye contact, put your phone down, like make a point of showing that you value them as a human and you value the time you're spending together. Because like I said, that's all we want as humans, is to feel seen, loved, and heard. That's all we want. We're simple. That's all we want. So giving that to someone so that you can also receive that is just one of the most beautiful things in the world. It's what makes us human. And I'm just so thankful that I'm able to connect with each and every one of you in this way. So if you are looking for an even deeper connection, like reach out to me. I work with a lot of clients. I work with so many women, and it always starts off as a client relationship, and then we get closer as friends because I have no barriers when it comes to that. I just can't. I want to know everything about your life. I want to help you, and I want you to feel fully supported. That's what I do. I hope that this was helpful. when it comes to friendships. I hope that you know that if you are someone who is like, how the heck do I make friends? Guess what? You are not the only one that has had that feeling. You are not the only one that has ever felt alone or felt disconnected from people, but you also have the power to reconnect. Okay? You have the power to reach out to friends. Phone goes both ways. And also, it works as a phone, not just a text message machine. So you can call up people and reconnect. And you'll be surprised that when you actually start to have a real conversation, like, hey, how are you doing? And not just say fine, really tell them how you're doing. You'll be surprised how just you being vulnerable with that relationship creates a deeper connection and has them maybe share some things that are going on in their life that you never even knew. So my challenge for you is to figure out your values and get vulnerable. So let me know how that works for you with your friendships. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. And yeah, this was a fun one. I'm glad that I could chat with y'all. But guess what? For me, it's like one way. I'm not talking to myself. I'm truly talking to you. So talk back. And what I mean by that is screenshot this thing and share it and let me know you're listening. Give me some feedback. Let me know your thoughts about this, everything that we've talked about. If you try any of the things we discussed, like, let me know how it went. Like, I want to know. And if you're looking to connect with some other amazing driven women, then yeah, connect on my Facebook group. Join the webinar that I have going on. I have plenty of ways for you to get connected. And if you're struggling to think of them on your own, reach out and I'll help you do that. Okay. But it's been pretty great chatting with you, and I'll see you next time. Thanks again for listening to Confidently Uncomfortable. I love being able to connect with you here and honestly don't want it to end. So head over to my Facebook group, Body Confident Blueprint, and be sure to follow me on Insta at JGoFitLife. Also, if you're ready to get real confidently uncomfortable, go leave this podcast a 5-star review and email me the review screenshot, support@jgofit360.com, for a chance to win a free 30-minute fitness audit and goal setting session. I appreciate your support. See you next time.